Alright. No cool intro. I just want to do the freaking stream. Alright, so YM. Let me take out my notes here too. Well, first of all, it's Christmas week, and we just rolled contracts last week. So I'm not expecting a ton of stuff, but it is the end of the year, so there's going to be some sort of tax harvesting. There's always possibly a volatile week, but like not ideal to trade, honestly. But yeah, Monday there's no news. Tuesday we've got GDP and a bunch of orange folders. And then that's basically it. We got crude oil on Wednesday, and then it's Christmas. Let me look at a different calendar here. Just pull it up here too. Yeah, so oh, what? This says we've got PCE tomorrow. Maybe we ought to double check with the third. Alright, today's the 21st, so yeah, this says we've got GDP on Monday. Or wait, no, that's Tuesday. Okay, everything doesn't make sense. What the heck? Why does this always do this, dude? Don't want China or Hong Kong. Close. Okay. Whatever, dude. Says we've got it on Tuesday. This says Monday for some reason. Weird. Monday, core PCE. Tuesday. Goodness. This is why I hate all these websites. Why is there nothing on Monday here? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but this says we got news Monday, we've got news, a lot of stuff on Tuesday, Wednesday. It's Christmas Eve. But it says we've got jobless claims and crude oil. This says Tuesday we've got a bunch of stuff. Wednesday we've got jobless claims. Okay, so at least that's the same. So yeah, Wednesday might actually be a solid day to trade. Same with Tuesday. Because on here there's stuff on Tuesday too. So yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday should be pretty solid. It's just the question is tomorrow. This doesn't have much on tomorrow either. So I'm going to rule out Monday having anything. I'm just going to assume that that's wrong because this has that stuff on Wednesday. Oh wait, I'm sorry, Tuesday, not on Monday. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, so we're trying to figure out the bias. Let's leave those up. So yeah, monthly, we're good. We're about to close the candle here this week. Right? Oh no, next week we close it. Okay, but we're getting close. Yeah, we have not shifted above these highs. Maybe on the quarterly. Quarterly we did. And quarterly closes in 10 days. So yeah, maybe this is a much stronger market than I thought. I should have zoomed out. But anyways, nothing on the smaller time frame. When's on weekly, we still don't have anything either. At least displacement. Besides here, we had one. But then we kind of traded below that. Gap up there. But yeah, anyways, we've sort of met the objectives for everything. Weekly, yeah, nothing on the weekly. On the daily though, now we're getting somewhere. So yeah, obviously we shifted above this high, took out those highs, created relative equal highs. Let's go ahead and just create an alert there. Also, let's drag that out. Alright. And then we had the roll. Oh yeah, this changes things too. Wow. Big wick. Yeah, if you adjust the rolls, we actually haven't had a shift. That's way different. And it looking way weaker here without the roll. Swept the highs. Had a nice little imbalance there and a gap up, and then yeah, just stab the high again. Daily, no relative equal highs there, which honestly, yeah, I don't know. But this still seems like a nice level because it lines up with this high, so there's probably liquidity still above there. And what level was this? Whoa, a lot. Yeah, on the daily, yeah. Either way, this is the new pricing for the charts, so yeah. Gap up on the roll premium, but then we like gapped down. It's so weird. Let me swept that out. Yeah, so far we seem to be holding this daily inefficiency. And just below it, there's a 4-hour here. Seems to be being respected pretty well. Right to the CE of it. So yeah, and then we have this sort of being created. Oops. See if that gets respected. And then smooth highs, so yeah. I mean, either way we have smooth highs there. And there's a nice little inefficiency there too. This got fully rebalanced. Almost. So there's a 4-hour aligned with that. I'm curious. That's interesting. We'll leave it there though. But yeah, so far just respecting. I know we had some sort of SMT here, and the other indices are basically blasting off. We've got relative equal highs on NASDAQ, so very clean pool of liquidity there. Even on the regular the adjusted contract, it's very clear. So my bias is long, at least on NASDAQ and everything for now. I think we're going to go for the highs before we going to maybe continuation lower or not. But anywho, let's get back to the high time frame. So YM smooth / relative equal highs at the highs, looking weaker on the high time frame, but can't really pick a top yet. COT data is showing unloading. So if we look at where, oh, there we go. So everything is pretty bearish, but I actually checked the Dow, and the Dow was not as bearish. So oops. Wow, there we go. So yeah, I mean, it looks like they unloaded everything into this move up. But since then, yeah, they've been slowly hedging into this sell-off. They bought that sell-off and then rebalanced into the move back up, and then they've just been riding this up. Though here, this is the commercials, so the dealers here too. Similar story, but now they have been selling. So maybe we can even zoom in just to draw like a midline through that. And this is delayed by a few weeks. The Commitment of Traders Financial Traders Report. I don't know what the difference between these two reports are. I'm actually going to look that up. All right. Difference between the traders report and the financial traders. Let me just screenshot this too, if I even can while I'm streaming. Boom. All right, let's see what ChatGPT says about this. The left side is the original legacy commitment of traders structure, groups traders by commercial, not by strategy, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Hedging, pressure, long-term, short-term. The financial traders report is the modern strategy-based breakdown, designed specifically for financial futures, index bonds, and what? So yeah, dealers, banks, market makers. You can see they track together though. You know, like where was that? Let's go back to the 3-year. You can see on this big move down, they were doing the same thing. Asset managers, leveraged funds. Leveraged funds been unloading. Alright, anyways. Key difference. The grouping logic. Okay, maybe I need to send the whole image because I think it's confused. I'm looking at YM futures. Maybe give it more specific, relevant question. Oh, it says to use this. Well, in that case, yeah, I mean, it is bearish. But now I need to look at all these other guys. S&P, which I'm assuming will be the same. So they really unloaded into that high, bought the dip, have been consolidating while it's been going higher, but then also unloading. Yeah, interesting. Same deal. They got really long there, that's funny. Unloading, but they did buy this dip. They didn't buy until here. Okay, so it's still kind of the same story. But let's look at Russell. Yeah, same story. Slowly unloading. Excuse me. Alright. So that answers the question. So yeah, data is showing the unloading, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bearish. But it does line up moments we do have some things. Like the SMT with Russell here, which we should have clearly marked out. And NASDAQ. And it's going to be funny if NASDAQ sweeps this high and we're still down there on Russell. Alright, but let's finish this. On the quarterly chart, we've definitely displaced higher. But if we adjust it, yep. So yeah, on the very high time frame, no, like, and usually it's going to be very delayed. So that's the problem with it. Yeah, we did displace higher on ES on the high time frame, even up into here. So yeah, to look for a big reversal still is a little premature, unless we get something really clear, maybe on the weekly and the daily. So yeah, I would still expect these highs probably to get taken again. We shifted here, we even shifted there, but we did break that low. So maybe that's a good change in character, I don't know. Or a not change character. I don't know. Either way though, it's still kind of respected that same level though, because the candles closed there. We got a little thing there on the weekly, but it seems like the daily BISIs are doing good. So yeah, basically just smooth highs. Then also SPY did make a new high, so there might be something to that. And it failed on both of these. If you adjust it, it's actually fallen quite low. So 4 hour, market shift to the downside, but then got inverted basically. We've been shifting higher. So yeah, and I still like the longs into those highs, like I said earlier. For our So this has been used. Nice little soup of the lows there, smooth highs at the all-time highs. So I think it makes sense for this to still make a high. Just add an alert up there. Nice smooth highs all taken. We come back down, it's just going to manufacture another smooth high. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is a nice little target. There's a, that's just a new day opening gap. That's the road gap, okay. Yeah, not much else to say. Just looking for longs. ES high time frame has displaced. Yeah, so just longs. Alright, Nasdaq's kind of more obvious for me. So yeah, quarterly we are definitely going to be shifting higher. It would be pretty crazy to see this in 10 days completely, like, yeah, take that out. That'd have to be like a big move down really quickly. But anyways, yeah, it's seemingly to be displacing higher. It already did above that high. It already did here. We came back and reaccumulated that. Weekly. Oof. Wait. Kind of want to see that back on the. Huh. Did I look at that in the quarterly? Quarterly, it did. Okay. But the monthly does not look nearly as strong. It looks just like an aggressive, sharp move up. Even the weekly has failed to shift besides this, and that got immediately rebalanced and traded below it. Huh. Obviously that's with it adjusted though. So, we'll see. I like these relative equal highs though, for sure. Weekly, we still have that weekly inefficiency. Oh no, it got completely filled. So we can kind of draw that back in. Did the monthly get filled? Yeah. Already got rebalanced, but I like it there for reference. Okay. Yeah, so far we still have this. Should have that there, just for reference. Daily. Nothing on the daily besides this inefficiency that we sort of held. We played with it. And then, yeah, the gap. We adjust the contract. Yeah, smooth highs. Still relatively highs up there. And you could just say this is a good order block. So. $4-hour. Yep, not much. Just obviously going higher. Alright. 4-hour busy. Unfilled gap there though. If we adjust it, yeah, okay. Cool. Basically the same as I thought before I did the analysis. This could very well just be keep going up though. But like a higher time frame. I'm not all out bear, I'm just playing with the idea because things are kind of there for it. Alright. Should also check the seasonal tendencies too, huh? Alright, well we've got ES, NASDAQ, now we gotta do some Russell. Kind of already know where Russell's from. Russell, if you adjust the contract, has not set a new high. But on IWM it definitely has. It even set a new low there too. But when we adjust it, it has IWM. There we go. Just kind of weird. That doesn't really make sense to me. There's like a negative premium on it. It's weird. Alright, monthly. Held that shift there. Came all the way back up to make a new high. Just wanted to see that. So I got a weekly there. There's a big. Why is this not on there? Yeah, I like it purple. So yeah, not much on the daily. We kind of created relative equal lows. Just a pool of liquidity here. We've got smooth highs, but if we roll this, then yeah, there was an inefficiency here. We're bouncing off that nicely. You know, you'd suspect we're going to come higher here. It just seems like maybe we are just going to come up here and stab out these highs. So, we'll see. Definitely, if it's the bull side that's going to play out, we still definitely have something to go for. At least on the adjusted contracts. But yeah, we've got a really nice pool of liquidity there. And smooth highs still. So, nice, clean, like, order block looking thing there if this is a high, or at least some sort of high. 4-hour, yeah, we're getting a little bit of a shift there, or a displacement, but we already took the high. But I mean, this is pretty clean for a 4 hour. So yeah. Right now, I definitely like longs on everything. So at the beginning of the week, we'll be looking for that for sure. But yeah, that's about it. Let's just see if we can quickly go over these guys just to see. Dow Jones, same story. Big pools of liquidity below. Did not shift above the high. Yeah, smooth highs. Actually closed really weak versus those guys maybe in the after hours. SPY. Yeah, SPY made some like relative equal highs here, even though they're technically taken. But yeah, I mean, that's came down into this inefficiency, gapped up. That's really clean for some more buy side. Qs, smooth highs. Yeah, don't know what that's about. SPX, really nice smooth highs. Whoa, VIX. I did not look at VIX. Look at VIX. Absolutely crushed. The lowest it's almost been in a long, long time. So, wow. Interesting. VIX futures, on the other hand, you know, gapped up because of the roll. Going lower. UVXY. Irrelevant. Yeah, I'm definitely biased to the bull side. It just looks like it wants to take out this liquidity here. VIX futures, same thing. Yeah. But into this gap, though, it's going to be interesting. I think this is like a possible area again. Just this order block down here. And then the next one would be here. If we look here, obviously it's below all that, but yeah, huh? Look at that. Alright. Maybe just a quick look at seasonals. Just for fun. I guess we can leave these on. They kind of make too much noise. Yeah, consolidate into the end of the year and then like find a little move up. Followed by just, yeah. And then there's that spring sell-off. But the last few years, green and blue, pretty similar. Sideways with the final move up into the end of the year. And I'm assuming it's going to be very similar. Yeah. Similar thing here. That all lines up. Russell, even Russell, even though it's not been that long. The VIX, though, yeah. 10 years, basically flat, but recently it's gone down. Man, this is crazy. Alright. Other than that, gold took a stab at that high. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't know, but that adjusted contract does have a draw on liquidity for Russell to actually go higher. So we'll see, but so far my very clear idea is the highs on Qs and probably even SPY, and then we'll see how Russell goes, and if that's going to all play out like ideally, then that would actually support maybe a move back into crypto. Maybe not new all-time highs for Bitcoin or anything, but like ETH futures have a really nice draw on liquidity relative to equal highs, so I've actually been, I think, long that, so it's a nice little swing trade. I would have preferred to buy that dip on XRP, but at the same time it doesn't have a clean pool of liquidity like Ethereum does. Dollar did actually end up coming back up. This is an inverted chart. Dollar has a really nice pool of liquidity here. So do we have a SMT though? Let's look. Did we get a premium? I think everybody definitely got a premium there. So now we're just trying to see if there's some sort of divergence with this high maybe. Nope. So yeah, I'm still waiting to see some sort of top confirmation here. Maybe you can say the order block. We almost perfectly tapped it on the dollar. So yeah, I don't know, but it does seem like it's eventually going to come down there. We can collapse the stocks there. Let's do a quick analysis on the dollar. Alright, dollar. Quarterly SIBI there and a monthly layered into it. We rejected that one, swept the liquidity here, held the order block. There was a fair value gobble set up in the dollar. Monthly chart. Yeah, there's fair value gobble. The order block below the relative equal lows, sort of with a BPR, but a dirty one. And then nothing there, maybe on the weekly. Yeah, we still got some relative equal highs there, but that doesn't mean we couldn't come lower back into this. Not much on the higher time frame though. Just kind of rangy. Daily though might clear things up. So you had a shift there, headed lower. Took out the low. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, pool of liquidity here. Oh. Well, I kind of want to get distracted by this. Russell. I'm going to check this chart. No, QQQE, that's what I wanted to check. So it looks like the equal weighted Qs was actually stronger, and we didn't take out that low, versus, pretty sure we did, yeah. So the breadth is showing some strength, at least in there. Let's look at RSP. Oh wait, was I looking at the wrong low? Yeah. No, yeah, it totally collapsed versus that. Okay, yeah, no, never mind. Scratch that. So yeah, it's just been consolidating above the high basically. RSP did make a new high, but basically cleaning out the highs. It just structurally, it just looks It just looks like this could be a top. Just the way it stabs up and then immediately sells off. Like it could be. There's some fundamental things there too. Hmm. Wow, this is such an old chart. I thought I was gonna predict the bear market. Okay. Well, anyways, looks pretty strong here. Yeah, that doesn't change anything for me. Alright, now I'm just getting distracted. Alright, that's it for me though. I will be looking for some sort of long idea using the ranges we develop. So maybe I'll come back to this before the Sunday Open, but our charts. Yeah, just looking for a long idea, basically. None of my stuff is loading though. Oh, whoops, that's why. Alright. So yeah, we've got a nice liquidity level with the Asia and lunch low there. And we even confirmed it actually already. Possibly with the Dow. Yeah, we'll see. One last thing, let's check the weekend markets. See if there's something. So yeah, it's slightly up. So yeah, we've just gone higher. Alright, that's it for me though. Just looking for the long idea coming into the week, and then we'll see what happens